Hello there, and today we'll be reviewing and looking at another one of the S and then A, or is it Sneva, I can call them, model kits from the round table, which is this is the third one that I know of them. The invoker, Percival. Now, this is one of the, well, one of the 13 or 12 knights at the round table. If you don't know what that is, history lesson, I guess, I'm going to be honest here. These were knights in history that, well, at the round table, they were 12 knights. And if you watch anything of historical reference or history of them, it's pretty cool of the history of the round knights, and it's a historical thing that people do know of, and it is kind of a cool thing. I did buy this at a God, my head is so lost some days. I did buy this at Test Life in Duluth, and I bought them for $25. I think it was 25. I think. Don't mean my price range. I could be on or off by the time because online it says it between 20 to 30, and this is the deluxe. Okay, I will say this part. This is the deluxe variant. There's two variants out there. This is standard one and the deluxe one. This one is the deluxe one without saying deluxe one. Basically, the deluxe one comes with spears. The other one doesn't come with the spears. Now there is some differences when it comes to only a few accessories. That's why you can see between $20 to $25 or $25 to $30, depending on where you look, and depending on where you look, and in certain regions of stores online, you are looking at certain price regions, which makes it a little more harder. And this is better from what I heard. This one right here, it's a better release than the what's it called? Than the second one that came out for it, or the first one. Because those two, from what I heard, didn't come with as many accessories as this one did. Which you kind of all of them, it'd be pretty cool actually. But and the scale of this is 1/144 scale, which is the size of a high grade to low grade. Now the BE basically is just like the real grade, technically a real grade a real grade variant in terms of calling it a real grade. Sounds weird on paper, but it barely means a real grade. Basically, without being a real grade, real grade don't have an inner frame and then get built around the frame. This one doesn't technically have a inner frame. It has a skeleton you gotta build up and then put together and then put the armor on. It's a little different, but in a way it's a little confusing. And the build, I will say you need to do a lot more sanding on this one, or cutting. So with this one, you got to do a lot more cutting on it because the parts are on thicker pegs when you got to cut them. They are like that on bigger pegs, and you got to cut them and then sand them. Because if not, you're leaving those bigger pegs, extra pieces basically to cut down on them. So that's one thing to worry about when you do pick this up for any reason. So like get looking to it and see if it's worth your money. Now these guys are basically the real grade. Some they're almost like a real grade, but not too complex, but a little more like a high grade. So they are in a scale of 1/144 scale, be like the higher grade to real grade scaling. And it is at a pretty good scaling with a lot of accessories like the swords, hands, and everything. So, so I will say accessories first. The stand is actually pretty cool. And I did use panel lining. It does show up a lot of detail inside this too. And I do like the arm. And it has joints right here too, which you're meant to use for this right here. Well, for the swords, which are pretty cool. And it does plug in pretty well, I have seen. So that's really good. And it had the plates for the sword. So cut it up. Now drop down. Driving it slowly. But the sword goes in place into right here, which is actually really cool because like it is the round table knights, which is actually pretty cool because it's the round knights at the table, which is very cool. And if you're in the history, that's actually pretty cool. Or knights, which they are stuff to panline also, which is kind of a shocker. So you can't panline it, and the thing is, I did panline it, but then cut came off of it. And this come with spears, two spears, and these parts right here, the things right here, you gotta change out the color for purple, and they do open up a little bit, which is pretty cool. But it's the same spear, and it's just as big as the figure. And you get two of these too. Pretty freaking awesome. Two spears. So you get 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different swords. And actually, it's pretty cool. You can penline them and work on them yourself and give it a lot. Some of them are like just a blue blade with gold, with there's a basic gray handle, and all the handles are different designs too. Some of them are white blades with blue between them. And it's so freaking awesome that they're all different shapes and sizes from each other. They're not the same tech blade. And that's actually pretty cool. Now, accessory wise, or hand wise, I guess you want to say, we get 2 rock hands. I guess you want to call them rock hands. It's pretty cool. That's kind of awesome. You get pairs of open hands. You also get pointing hands also, which is actually pretty cool. The thing is, these hands are already pretty unique in their own way because the way they're built is a little more frustrating. I will be honest with you; they are a little more frustrating. In the most honest flavor, I will be honest. I hate that they are a nightmare to deal with. And I forgot I need to change out the hands to make it fairly the same. You also have 2 holding hand. Well, you do get some holding hands right here, but the thing is, you need to pop the hand guard to put the sword in to make it work, which is not easy. I'm gonna be honest here, but it does give it at an angle, which is actually pretty cool. You also get your standard holding hands just as well. Just pop this off and just put in the sword, and fist hands as well. You can see on the figure, which is pretty awesome actually, because the fact you have a range of hands to pose a lot of this stuff, I like. But we're not done with accessories. Now you also have these pieces. These go on the shoulders and stuff like that to be like a guard, I guess. Kind of like a cloak, I guess. You get some for the short pieces where I think go under here, which is actually pretty fucking cool. And I will say, caution is very needed. These right here, you cannot push them in too hard. If not, they're gonna bend on you, which is not very good to hear. But I'm telling you ahead of time. And you do get this piece too, which I don't know what it's for actually. That's the thing is, I think it might either be for the stain. I'm thinking to put up the butt. I'm thinking I might be wrong, but the figure itself, I will say, it looks pretty good. I like how it looks. The colors are fantastic with the gold, white, and the light purple. Gives it a pretty cool, unique design I like. And I will be real here. It is sharp. That is one thing with these. I guess other brands, any other brands that make model kits, they all make them sharp. I don't know why. Like here, sharp. These are also sharp. Shoulders sharp. Back of the arm sharp. Back piece a little sharp. Back of the heels sharp. A lot of it, sharp, and it's not fun to deal with because, yeah, you can see even to pose it, it's not much more easier. But I will say, articulation wise, it can get a full 360 at the arm, which is actually kind of a shocker. Because with this weird backpack thing, it wouldn't work, but it does because it gives it a lot more space. And these do fold up like that, which you can aim them at an angle too. But I will say, I really don't like the backpack on here. I'm gonna be real here. It kind of looks too bulky for my liking. I kind of need like this. So arms you saw for 360. You do see that the shoulders are actually not connected to the arms, so they do go up a little. Now, not much more down. The arms can get, yeah, this thing will want to come apart on you. So you want to play with it. Be careful. Oh, come on, fit in. Fit in. Okay. It does go up here to this much more, which is not much more anyways. Even if you put the shoulder piece up, it does technically make it go up to the limit. So, I mean, that's fine. Don't joint to the arms. And it is stopped due to this piece right here being bulky. The script pieces are on a ball joint. So ball joint connect. It's a ball joint right here, and then like it just rotates right here. Well, which is pretty cool. The script piece I did break apart so it makes it easier for me to bend it. And the fact when you do fold this up, you just see more piece of armor, which is actually pretty good looking. And the butt screws move up also as well, so you can kick back pretty far up, pretty far back. And it does use the drop down system right here, as you can see, and it's actually pretty simple, but not easy either. But it is really fluent if you could get used to it. So at first, when you do get it, it's not easy. But this whole crotch region does move, which is awesome to see. So as you can see, it does move forward to show what the joint looks like within here. So it does give it a lot of range. So it gives it so much range, you can get a pretty good bend, which is really neat for some of these. And it goes into place and it holds it pretty still, a little bit, but it still holds in place. The knees are also double jointed. What do you expect for this point? Double jointed, but due to this, I guess, front piece, it does make it a little limited as well. But the armor does shift up also. All the hands are on ball joints, so balls. You do have a... Okay. That's... Normally had the foot shouldn't be working, but... Yep. You just basically put it together. So just put this like this. And then put the foot on. Which is a pretty simple build. There's some toe bending, at least some for the most part. Up, not that much. Down, not that really either, which is kind of sucks. It looks so cool, but not that much toe movement, I guess. It does have a pivot at the back, pivot at the foot, which makes sense actually. But it's so limited to all the bits and pieces being big and bulky. Does have its limits as well. I do like how this looks, but you gotta snap everything together properly. If not, it won't look as stable. It does have problems. Don't get me wrong, it does have problems. But if you fix them up, it shouldn't be that bad. And not that much fun on either. Kind of pretty good. The head can look up. None at all due to... Okay, it can if you do... What the... Yeah. It does, but you gotta move the head a little more forward to do it, but not much more. It looks down okay, and it's a ball joint. Kind of sucks that limited as well, Looks so freaking amazing. I'll be honest here. But size squares in time. It is adequate sizing I like for my collection. Now here's the ancient Venom I did last week. Gotta turn the camera. And here is Hot Rod, or Ramon's Prime, I guess you want to call him. I don't have the other night either. This is like the third one, I think. So, yeah. Let's get to my fun. Well, actually, before I even these parts right here are very tight when you do get to use them, and that's a problem because, yeah. But the fact that the swords do go on here, which is actually surprising. So, since they have a specific shaping, you got to look at the shaping of these things. And they do go in there pretty good, actually. They want to fall off. It is semi-limited, but, I mean, do you think you really care about that? No. But here's the thing, it's really cool. These all technically have their own different style. So this one has the diamond shape, this one, all of them have different shapes. So the way they all connect is actually all different compared to which way you actually put it. So you are basically at a gamble on which one you are technically looking for. And that's actually pretty freaking cool. And it does give it storage as well because, yeah, you're going to need to find a place where to put these stores at. Crap. These ships are fucking ridiculous. Like I said, these are pretty cool when you put them on there, but they're a lot of work, so that gives them a fun thoughts on this. Now, I will say it is pretty good looking in many ways. It looks colorful, and I kind of like how it looks without the backpack, but that's just me. I really don't like some backpacks on certain model kits. It kind of breaks the model in terms of like looks. But I will say, no matter which way you look at it, it looks pretty good. But the problems I have is that it's a sharp model kit in the way that it will stab your hands if you're not cautious, or if you had to, might break a few pieces. If you're going to be playing with it or trying to post it, it's going to be not as fun as a project as it seems. I know I need to fix my lighting back there. It's bad right now. I see that myself. I didn't even get more batteries and I'm gonna fix up. Anyways, but it's worth picking up. I mean, yeah, it is really cool, and if you're into like knights or any not historical, but like fantasy historical stuff, it kind of really cool as it looks. And the fact it comes with a lot of accessories, it does give you the fact of like it does have itself, but problems like I said, sharp as hell. It might snap your fingers off if you're not cautious, and that's just one thing. Is caution is with this one in general because like parts of it are dangerous enough to stab you in the palm, so that's not good. But if you found that and you are careful with it, and the head has a problem because when you gotta build it, you gotta put that piece to hold it in place to shove it down in there. Not as easy as it seems. I'll be honest, here is pretty much the problem if you're working on it. If you're not working on it, good luck. You're just looking at it. But if you're willing to get it, it's actually pretty good of a build. It did to me, I think 2 hours. I think I could be right around with them, but it did take me a while to get it built because like I wasn't more study because like I wasn't feeling it that day, and then I came back because at that point I did need a break for it because if not you're kind of building straightforward, and for now you're already stressed out and tired from doing it. So so that's the thing is you gotta watch out, especially for your own timing, see if it's really worth your building or your heart for it, because if not, you're putting it and then you're just tired of it afterwards. So, what do you think? Would you pick this up for your own collection? And if you do pick it up for your own collection, please tell me. Do you like it or not? Because my problem is my problem, but I think it looks good in some parts, in other parts not really. But you tell me what you think. I'm going to continue recording, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out, people.